We had more. We had ads. I'm surprised the ads ran into your time.
Yeah. So when are we? When is
We have
this?
another ad at 7,
It's
but
serious.
thankfully you can finish at 6:49, 6:59.
Okay, I have a lot of stories to.
Can
Yeah,
finish at six
but we
fifty
never we
nine.
never ever really finish
Yeah,
everything. We don't really finish
just
everything.
speaking
So
interesting.
by the time we get,
Your people will soon start sending
messages,
messages now
yeah,
Uh-huh.
that
it's
we have
18.
robbed you of your time.
Exactly. They know.
You are the one that started this revolution.
They know now. We're pushing for 30. We'll get to 30 now.
Mm.
We'll get to 30%.
We question Beyonce. So Mike's up. Studio is live.
Lagos City and beyond. Good morning. Welcome to Business Express on Smooth 98.1 FM. I am Rotus. I am joined by Babajide of Afrinvest. Babajide, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Rotus. Thanks for having me.
Welcome, welcome. I think the last time you were here, I think I was on vacation. You were with Valentine, have you?
Yes, exactly.
All right, cool, cool. Shout out to Valentine and Ayo holding it down. Whenever I'm not,
Thank
whenever
you,
I'm
Rotus.
not around. All right, Lagos, you know the drill. Please send your messages 0809 444 0981. Tweet at us. Queen James sent me a tweet about the stamp duty and what's going on with that. He's still getting charged at fuel stations. So at Smooth 91 FM. Also, we are streaming live on YouTube, youtube.com/smooth 91 FM. So let us get into the thick of things. Babajide, our dear president, turned 77 years old. He's looking fresh and strong because he's able to fly to London to get his health care. So happy belated birthday to President Buhari. To commemorate his birthday, he signed our 10.59 trillion naira budget into law. What are the what's the main thing to look for here,
Yeah,
Babajide?
basically, I think we should credit the governor for the president rather for this landmark, because this is the
Mm.
first in many years that we'll have our budget ready even before the fiscal year.
Mm-hmm.
So majorly the what we see from this step is the fact that the government has actually tried, and yeah, it shows commitment from their part, and basically investors would see more of clarity on the direction of the economy, because
Mm-hmm.
the budget simply tells us the particular sectors that will be getting so amount of funds, and people expect to see growth in that aspect. So basically the this budget also this the early passage or signing of the budget rather also brings more of accountability, because people are able to track the implementation.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we've also talked about we've analyzed the budget as at the time the bill was passed. So basically, the major downside risk to the budget is the fact that Nigeria is still exposed to the vulnerability of oil prices.
Yes,
We,
yes.
we don't dictate our oil prices. Is a result of supply and demand. So basically, if looking at the budget, the assumption is that the average revenue for what's it called for the oil price is
Yeah.
$57 per barrel.
Okay.
So basically, if we have the oil prices doing below that benchmark, it might become trouble for the government, and they might not actually be able to fund or finance the budget,
Mm.
which might result into tapping into the debt market, which is we've been crying that it's unsustainable for a very long period of time. But basically, we expect to see this budget shed more or put us on the front foot where we want to be actually.
Cool. Now, I do have to point this out though. This 10.5 trillion naira budget for our listeners. Anyway, our listeners, I think you are hip to this already. Babajide, this thing only translates to $30 billion for a $400 billion, or maybe it's at 387 or 389. I mean, $30 billion.
Yeah.
We were talking downstairs. Our listeners, America's, I mean, because America they export oil now.
Uh-huh.
I saw this somewhere. America's oil exports, just year to date, is 57 billion. I mean, It's almost double
almost
our
double
budget. So I
our
mean,
budget.
it's still small though. It's this only 30 million to share around this country with everything we need to do.
It's still small, but basically, at the end of the day, you still have to cut your coat according to your size.
Mm,
Looking at our revenue generating capacity, rather than dreaming big, let's just be a little bit realistic, and from there we can start from somewhere. Because if you're actually dreaming higher, trying to raise, what's it called, come up with a budget that is unrealistic,
mm,
you'd have the adequate revenue to back it up. It becomes a problem for you because at the end of the day, whatever you present at the beginning of the year is what is the basis for your judgment at the end of your tenure. So
mm.
basically, it's really, really low compared to America. America, they are the big guys, but basically, you just have to, start from insolvent.
Manage what we have.
Exactly.
John sends a message here on WhatsApp. Could you let us know if Afriland Properties PLC still exists on the LSE? That's the London Stock Exchange, isn't it? John, last I heard about this company was what they launched in July. I believe it was July, John. So that's the last I know about. I don't really follow the London Stock Exchange that much. But yeah, that's the last I heard. So yeah, I think they are on there. They launched in July. Emma here sends a message. Forgive me for being a party pooper. The state of the nation has conditioned us into exercising cautious optimism. The budget alignment with the fiscal year is great, but we all know where to find the devil in the details. He emphasizes in capital letters.
Yeah.
The more we look at this long rope, the more it is looking like a snake. So am I not very positive there, but hey, everybody is entitled to how they feel about this thing. Yinka comes in, says the stamp duty is not only at the fuel station. No, I pay 15 naira steady on my lunch whenever he's eating, whenever I pay using POS. I can't argue with them because I'm too hungry to argue. I guess they devised a means to mess with me when I'm vulnerable. We report. I think we reported here, even on Freshly Press, everywhere else, that it's the finance bill. Thank you, Yinka. Thank you, MI, and John for your messages. The finance bill, which for 2019 that's been passed by the legislature, revises that amount a bit to 10,000 naira, if I remember correctly. But President Buhari still has to sign it into law.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So
yeah.
once he signs it into law, I believe we'll get a break, and it will be at least 10,000 naira before you see that. Charge that comes on there. Okay, so from the budgets, Babajide, we move to inflation. November figures for inflation came out yesterday, and no surprise. I don't think anybody predicted that inflation will be going down. It jumped up again to 11.6 in October to 11.85. So what are we seeing with inflation as to the increase?
On that end, we've seen an uptick recently in inflation, and this is largely due to uptick in prices of food. Because looking at the results, the report released from the MBS, we saw that the major items that drove inflation basically were food items. Talking from bread, cereals, meals, and the likes. So basically, those are the primary factor that put more pressure on inflation. And other factors on that end, we have we're still feeling the effect of the border closure.
Right.
We're still feeling the heat, and also the fact that we're closer to the Yuletide season, the festive season. We see more demand from consumers, and that also weigh more on prices. So those are the major reasons why I've seen an uptick in inflation.
So the story continues.
The story continues.
Yinka says here, Rotus, from Yinka on WhatsApp, Rotus, what significance is this new budget cycle of the from January to December? As Babajide mentioned, ease of tracking and so on and so forth. They made a fanfare of it. I heard the Senate president saying this will provide jobs for our teeming youth, and the country. Ayo is laughing, and the country will be well. Ayo is a sarcastic laugh, and the country will be well positioned. Blah blah blah. I just can't seem to put the pieces together because we are borrowing to fund this, right? The Speaker of the House of Reps was smart not to speak too much. This from Yinka. You want to respond to that?
Yeah, just to answer Yinka. In fact, the budget was titled "Growth, Sustainable Growth and Job Creation." So
Interesting.
their perspective is to increase job and probably promote growth. But basically, it's a different thing to plan, and at the end of the day, it's a different thing to implement. So what Nigerians should actually watch out for is the implementation phase. So
Yes.
basically, that's what we want to see.
Okay, cool. All right, let's just, I don't know, let me not say anything. Well, thank you for that. Thanks. Okay. Benga Kamo says, I was in Mara this morning. In Mara this morning, a man advertised chicken which he sells for 6,500 now, and by Sunday, 7,500. Is this not exploitive? Even 6,500 is too much. This is on Benga Kamo, so that's still jumping in with the
Inflation, yeah.
with inflation, food prices, and so on and so forth. Ifeanyi from Iba says, Rotus, any possible correlation between the Treasury bill rates and the signing of the budget? No, there's no correlation. No. In fact, we're going into that right now. Are we not? There's a tweet from what's his name here? Where is that tweet? Hold on here. Is it Igo Alonge, yes, on Twitter? You guys can follow him. IGHODARO1. Igo Daro 1. He says headline inflation rose to 11.85, while a one-year T-bill is at 6.14%. That's a negative real return of 5.71 for savers and investors. This is terrible. I'm dramatizing because he used lots of exclamation points. He says this is classic financial repression of local savers and investors from the CBN, while foreign investors enjoy double-digit rates or double-digit returns. So, Babajide, that's true, right?
It's very true, because, and it's actually what's the cry, because this is absolutely, value is being eroded in that space. If inflation is around 11.85% and the return you're getting from the TBs for passing away with your money is just 6.14%, is that you're actually on the receiving end, because you're actually losing the value of your money on the long term. So basically, for and as regards the CBN segmenting the market, we understand the fact that they want to reduce borrowing cost for the government, which is actually commendable, and also they want to also it's also pave an opportunity for local corporates to tap what's it called, debt, to raise commercial papers from debt market.
Okay.
And the other end, which is the forex market, using what's it called, FPI to fund the forex market, is the reserve is basically unsustainable, because it's actually costly and will do Nigeria no good and harm on the long term. So basically, in this type of environment, the fixed income market is actually not an interesting place to put your money, based on the low yields there.
Yeah.
So investors are basically encouraged, or probably advised, to put your money in the equities market, because on
the
that
stock
end,
market,
yeah, the stock market, because
okay,
you could find some interesting yields on some stocks with high dividend. For example, some stocks are doing as high as 22% dividend yield, 9%, what's called 15 to 18%. So basically, aside from the fact that you get dividend, which is also more of like a return, you're also exposed to capital appreciation on the long term, which will probably cover for the whole inflation gap, and you get something that is quite.
Just for clarity, so our listeners know, the stock market return is negative 15% so far this year. Year to date so far. So just keep that in mind. And also, please remember, for any stock market advice, do consult a broker like an Afrinvest before making a decision. But also, to Ifeanyi's question about correlation between the budget and the where T-bills are now. Where TBs are now is as a result of the barring the local investors and PFAs from OMO auctions.
Exactly.
Right. So that's what caused that. So if there's no correlation there. Let's see now, Kenneth. While I commend the president for signing the budget this time in this early in so many years, my concern is basically implementation. Babajide already mentioned that. We only hear of the figures allocated to each ministry. What brings a budget to life is implementation. It's like having a strategy and also tactics to execute the strategy. Let's go into the tactics now that we have the strategy. That's from Kenneth. Thank you so much. And Yinka is upset about this talk about increase in jobs. Increase in jobs, how? How many times have we said that the federal government has business creating jobs? Rather for them to provide an enabling environment for jobs to be created by investors. Now, my challenge here is that the FG thinks peanuts like N-Power 30K salary is something big. Rather, it's an insult to a graduate that has spent 4+ years in school. Yinka, I get you. This job thing. And still, we still do not have our unemployment. I will keep singing this thing. Our last unemployment report, that was at 20%. So everybody should know this by now. Last unemployment report was released in the third quarter of 2018. So we do not yet to have an update on unemployment. And of course, we know the NBS, the Bureau of Statistics, has already said that, look, we need funding for this thing. And so that's where we are. Let's talk about the current account deficit, Babajide. I think this report came out from the CBN. Nairametrics was on it. but how much Nigerians spent on foreign travel. Apparently, it was 5.5 billion naira between January to September 2018.
2018, yeah.
It has almost doubled to 9 billion. Yes, naira. Did I say naira? I'm sorry. 5.5 billion dollars. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. I apologize. 5.5 billion dollars between January and September 2018 to 9 billion dollars from January to September of 2019. So this is under PTAs and so on. So it's increasing. Nigerians are traveling more. They are demanding more forex as a result of this. It's impacting on the on our reserves too.
The PTA, which is the personal travel allowance, we've seen that it's on the high, around $9.1 billion, which equates to about 3.24 trillion naira. So basically, what this
that's almost 30% of our budget, by the way. If you want to just equate it, go ahead.
So what this tells us is the fact that Nigerians are actually, way more pressure on demand for for dollar. And if you look at the report released by the CBN, the educational travel expense actually topped the chart. So there's this, you could actually explain this in a way that Nigerians are not really optimistic about the educational status.
So they are sending their children overseas.
They are sending their children overseas. Also, you could also see medical tourism, as also part of the what's it called? Of the expenses, So this is just more of like speaking to our infrastructural deficit. We're not being able to provide adequate medical facilities, good education system. So people actually, have to, get this equivalent overseas. So this simply weighs on our reserve. And if you look at our reserve, it has been tanking since the beginning of 2019, it's down about 8%, or to settle about $39.7 billion, and basically it's unsustainable in the long run. It's unsustainable.
Gotcha. And so that's something to keep in mind as well, ladies and gentlemen, with regards to the current account. Bolarinwa, 1/3 of the horsemen, says stock market Biko. I think the upside of the low yield on T-bills is that large corporates will be able to issue their corporate bonds at a moderately lower rates compared to the rates on bank loans. If this trend on treasury bills persists, we should expect a lot of corporate bonds in 2020. Thank you for that, Bolarinwa. Let's see now. Okay, Ayo is giving me hand traffic. Is it one? Okay, 1 or 2 minutes, Ayo? 1 minute. What shall we do in 1 minute? Babajide, what shall we talk about in 1 minute?
Rich in the country.
Yes. Oh, okay. You know what? We'll go into this tomorrow. Okay, very quickly. Okay, the former governor of Oyo State, Mr. Abiola Ajimobi, celebrated his 70th birthday, and Mr. Ralph, you're making me talk fast, Ayo. Mr. Ralph Aregbesola, he said the following. He said, oh God, why did I do this story earlier? We'll do it tomorrow. The rich in the country must be taxed mercilessly. Yes, about it very quickly. What do you think about this comment?
This type of comment actually scares away foreign investors, basically, and you're trying to protect the poor in terms of giving them social amenities. So if the foreign investors with the money cannot invest based on the fact that this is actually a disincentive for them,
by taxing the rich mercilessly.
Who provides the goods and services for the poor? You're still hurting them on the long run. So this type of comment is
you don't like it.
I really do not.
I won't lie. There's a part. I'll come out openly. I said this thing actually. I think a year ago. I was really. Now when I was going to. I wanted your car, Valentine's card.
Yeah.
Isn't
Bolan coming?
Yes. Bolan, shout out to Bolan, freshly pressed, and Devo. All you rich people, I was like pushing for them to be taxed. Anyway, Lagos, we'll start with this story tomorrow because I want to hear your comments because I'm sure folks like Yinka probably support it and everybody else. Thank you, John, Yinka, Chike, Olufemi, MI, for all your messages. We appreciate it. Babajide from Afrinvest, thank you for joining us today.
Welcome,
and we will pick this up with taxing the rich mercilessly tomorrow's edition of Business Express. Thank you all so much. See you tomorrow.
Nice one.